Hello everyone, welcome to GS Core. So we are into the series of micro detailing of syllabus with respect to subject of geography, that is part 2. In the previous series, we have seen the different topics and their micro detail with respect to the physical geography of India. Physical geography. In the today's session, we will be looking at the micro detail of syllabus with respect to physical geography of India. Now, physical geography of India is a very important part with respect to UPSC examination. If we look at the syllabus wise, so here it is not very broadly specified that what are the certain features with respect to India, but it has told that the physical, social, economical, and some part extend to the geopolitical part of India and the world. So, if we look at the part of India, what we understand, we see that we have different kind of features. We have topography, we have different climate which are present at different regions. They are region specific. Uh, we also say that there are different soil present. This soil are they are the basis for the agricultural system of India. So to understand those things, to understand the aspects of this these things which can be asked by UPSC in examination, we need to thoroughly know that what are the different features, what are the different aspects which we will be looking at through the micro detailing of the syllabus today. So in the first part, here we'll be looking at the physical geography of India. We have the locations. We have certain locations. Locations are quite important. Okay, locations are quite important. If we see the map of India, if you look at the Oxford Student Atlas, so in the India specific zone, you will be looking at there are different cities, there are different rivers, there are different, we can say the infrastructures are present. For example, we have national highways, we have national waterways, we have railways, and also we have different hydroelectric power plants, thermal power plants. So if we look at the theme of this thing, so it is majorly related to the locations. Now, after locations, we'll be looking at second thing, that is the geopolitical significance of India. That is geopolitical significance of India. If we look at the map of India, what we see that we have a basically Indian subcontinent. Okay, we have Indian subcontinent, and we see that we have different neighboring countries also. Okay, this neighboring countries we share some borders with them. So when we share those borders, we see that we have some particular issues with respect to those borders with those particular countries. For example, India-Pakistan border, we have different kind of borders. Like we have desert border, then we have plain border, then we have mountainous borders. So if we analyze these things in a particular manner, we see that there is some geopolitical significance with respect to all the regions which are present between India and Pakistan. So we need to understand this aspect also. After this, we see that we have quite important part, that is geological division of India. We have geological division of India. If I want to just make a simple map and I want to say that what is the geological division of India? Okay, so here we'll be looking at, we have different regions. For example, this part is the peninsular part of India. This is the peninsular India. This region, this is basically specified as the central India. Okay, this is central India. This part we see that here we have the Himalayan ranges. So we have different blocks in the different regions. They are being formed by the different, these blocks, they are formed in different time period. So we need to understand what are the different time period and which part of India has formed at those time. For example, this region we have Gondwana Plateau. This is Gondwana Plateau. This is Chota Nagpur Plateau, which is present here. Here we have Dharwad Plateau. Okay, Dharwad Plateau. Then we see that this is Deccan Plateau. This part is Deccan Plateau and it is formed in some different geological time period. So we will be looking at what are the different physiographical part, what are the different geological divisions, and we will be studying them accordingly. Okay. So this was the part with respect to the geological divisions. Now in this part we have the first system, that is the peninsular India. First part here we have peninsular India. Now, if we look at the peninsular India or peninsular block of India, we see that there are different geological features, there are different topographical features, there are different kind of, we can say, the river systems which are shaping the system of the landforms here. Then we say that there is a different kind of climatic system which is present here, which is also playing an important role in the presence of various vegetations and biological species here. Therefore, peninsular block becomes a very important part to be studied separately as it is. Now, after this next part, we have the Himalayan mountain system and the peninsular mountain system. Himalayan mountains and peninsular mountains. If we see the Himalayan mountain system, so we have here the Western Himalayas, then here we have Nepal Himalayas, then we have Sikkim Himalayas, then here we have the Eastern Himalayas and Purvanchal. Okay. Now, we need to study those Himalayan system in quite detail to understand that what is their significance, what is their meaning, why this system is present here like this, what are the factors which have made this system like this, and what are their implications on the current economic and human activities. We have to understand those properly. After that, we see that in the peninsular part of India we have Western Ghats and also we have Eastern Ghats. So what are the characteristics of Western Ghats, how they have formed, what are the characteristics of the Eastern Ghats, how they have formed, and what are the implications. Along with that, we'll be also looking the Vindhyas and Satpuras here. Okay, Vindhyas, Satpuras. Also, we'll be looking at some of the major mountain systems, for example, the Aravalli ranges. So, these mountain systems will be studying in the part of Himalayan mountain system and the peninsular mountain systems of India. Then after this, we see that we have covered mountain systems. Then after mountains, we have the different plains of India. For example, in this region, we have the Great Indian Plain. The Great Indian Plain, and this plain, it has been formed by the deposition of rivers such as the Ganga, Brahmaputra and Indus. So three different plain systems here we have. One is the Punjab plains, second is the Great Indian Plain, and another is the Assam Brahmaputra plains. Not only this plain system will be studying, we'll be also studying the different plains which are formed by the rivers such as Krishna, Godavari, then Kaveri, then other river systems like Mahanadi, okay, which is present here. Therefore, we will be discussing the different plain systems of India, but of which very important is the Ganga Brahmaputra plains. Ganga Brahmaputra plains and also others. So this plain system will be discussing in quite detail that what are the soil formation in this plain has taken place, what is the geology, what is the basic rock which is present beneath this system. So therefore we will be looking at how this system is present here. Next we have is the physiological division or physiographic division of India. Physiographic division such as, if we look at the map of India, the physical map of India, what we will be observing there? We will observe that here we have coastal regions in the western margin and the eastern margin. We have coasts. Then next thing we will be looking at, we have here some islands of Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Here we have Lakshadweep Islands. Okay, second physiographic division. Then we have mountain systems. Okay, then we'll be looking at, we have plains. Then also we'll be looking at, we have some plateaus also. For example, we have Malwa Plateau, we have Bundelkhand Plateau, we have here we say that Meghalaya Plateau. Okay, so looking at these physiographic divisions, the plateaus are also quite important, which can be asked in UPSC examination with respect to their formation and their characteristics. Then we see that we also have the desert, the great Indian desert, we also call it Thar desert. After Thar, we also see that we have another desert system in the Leh Ladakh region of Jammu and Kashmir region. Now, if we see this physiographic division, then we can understand that how the things are connected here. What is the role of climate? What is the role of, we can say, the river systems? What is the role of the amount of precipitation which is occurring in this region? Therefore, this part, it forms the complete physiography of India. This part, it forms the complete physiography of India, which will help us in understanding the minuteness of the syllabus, which we can interlink with the questions which are asked in the UPSC Prelims examination. Okay. Next system here we'll be looking at the drainage system of India. Next is drainage system. Okay, I'll rub this also. You can take the note of this thing, that how this syllabus works. The syllabus is not very well defined in the UPSC syllabus. There is just one single line written. But how we need to interpret the syllabus, how we need to manage the syllabus, what is needed to be studied, and in what depth it is needed to be studied. So you need to see the syllabus, and you also need to substantiate the syllabus along with the PYQs. Okay, PYQs of prelims exam. Now, second is drainage system. Drainage system of India. What is drainage system? Okay, drainage system, it is just the number of rivers which are flowing through a region. First thing, the number of rivers which are flowing in a set pattern. Okay, this set pattern can be, one river can have different pattern from another river pattern. So this pattern also is needed to be studied. Then what are the different physiographic divisions on the basis of which we can identify the different rivers? For example, peninsular rivers, Himalayan rivers, northeast rivers. Okay, so this is needed to be understood. Then we will be diving into the different rivers which are needed to be studied in detail. The rivers, not only rivers, but also their tributaries and their basic characteristics are needed to be studied in quite detail. So first thing here we'll be looking at, that is the drainage pattern. What is drainage pattern basically? Drainage pattern is, we can see that there are some of the rivers which just flow in a straight line. Okay, just flow in a straight line, but there is a kind of a river system also which is having large number of tributaries, and these tributaries, they are looked at like a branch of a tree. Therefore they are called as the we can say that Terrellis pattern. Terrellis pattern, where the flow of the rivers and their tributaries, it is almost perpendicular to each other. Then we have radial drainage pattern. We have radial drainage pattern. Okay. Then after this we can see we have different kind of patterns which we'll be studying in detail to understand the river and their pattern system. Next part here we have in our syllabus, that is the drainage systems of India. Now, in this drainage system of India, what we can see? We can see that there are different river system. Okay, there is a basic physiography, like if this is the map of India. Okay, so we will be looking at there is some set pattern. For example, some of the rivers they are having westerly flow. Some of the rivers they are originating from the Western Ghats, they have easterly flow. Some of the rivers they are originating from the Vindhyas, but they are having northerly flow. Some of the rivers which are originating from the Himalayan regions, they are having southeasterly flow. Okay, so we see that there is a different flow pattern. How this flow pattern has been formed, what is the significance of this difference in the flow pattern of India. Also we see that in the Western Ghat region, some of the rivers they are western flowing river, some of the rivers here they are easterly flowing rivers. So how this flow pattern has formed, we need to discuss that in detail. That will be discussed in the drainage systems of India. Then after this we'll be starting with the first very important part, that is the Himalayan drainage system. In the Himalayan drainage system, what is Himalayan drainage system first? What is it? The rivers which are originating from the Himalayan mountain ranges. Okay, if the rivers are originating from Himalayan mountain ranges, then we see that there are different rivers which will be joining the Himalayas in a very stipulated geographical pattern. What are these different rivers? How they are confluencing? What are the different characteristics of these rivers? Where these rivers are originating from? What are the, we can say, the point where these rivers are getting into the sea? What are the landforms which are created by these rivers? What are the important cities that these rivers are draining? Therefore, this system we will be studying in the part of Himalayan drainage system. Next is the Indus River system. Now, in this Indus River system, what we see, a very important river which is originating from the Himalayas. Okay, this is originating, we can say, from the Tibetan region of India. Now, where it is originating from? What are the different tributaries which are confluencing into this Indus River system? At which point we can see this river, they go out of the Indian territory and they go into the Pakistan territory. Those will be studying in detail. The different mountain ranges, the different springs, the different, we can say, the different lakes from which these rivers are originating, those will be studying in quite detail with respect to Indus River system and its tributaries. After Indus River system, another river system which is very, very important, it is Ganga River system. Now, if we look at the Ganga River is considered one of the holiest river in India, not only in India but also in the world. But what is the characteristic of this Ganga River system? Where it is originating from? How it is getting flowed? How it is getting the large amount of volume of water into that particular region? So we'll be studying the origin of the Ganga River system, from where it is flowing, what are the different plains which are present in this Ganga River system, then how it is forming a delta, then as it leaves the territory of India, it enters into the territory of Bangladesh. What are the characteristics of the Ganga River system as it goes there? Okay, So we see that we'll be studying this Ganga river system in different segments or different angles and aspects, which will help us in understanding the questions which can be asked in the prelims examination. Therefore, after Ganga river system, the next very important river system is the Brahmaputra river system. Now, Brahmaputra river system, we see that it has a very lengthy origin. It is originating in the, we can say, the Tibetan part of the Himalayan ranges. Now, it is then entering into India with some river. What is the name of river? When it is entering into India, you can write in the comment box provided below. Now, as it enters India, its direction changes, its flow changes, and after this we see that this river system, it is flowing through different territories and different regions, which is defining the northeastern part of India, its economy, its biogeography, okay, the type of vegetation which is present there. So all these things will be studying in the part of the Brahmaputra river system. Now, after Brahmaputra river system, we have different river systems of peninsular India. We have river systems of peninsular India. If we look at the peninsular river system, so the peninsular block is quite huge. The peninsular block of India is quite huge. And if we analyze this peninsular block, so we see that we have different river systems which are flowing in different directions. Why this is taking place? What are the different rivers? For example, we have Godavari, we have Krishna, we have Kaveri. Okay. So what are the origin of these rivers? From which mountain regions they are flowing? How they are affecting the plains from where they are flowing from, how the islands are formed here in this river systems, what are the different hydroelectric power plants which have been projected on this river system, where these rivers are forming deltas, what are the significances of those deltas. So this will be studied in the part of the rivers of peninsular India. Now, after this, we have some important part to study with respect to the small river systems which are present in the western coast and eastern coast of India. So the eighth part is the small river systems of India. Small river systems of India. For example, in Goa, we have Mandovi River, we have Zuari River. In the part of Karnataka, we have Shravati River. So these are the small rivers. They are originating from the Western Ghats and they are flowing westward. In the part of eastern coast, we see that we have Vegai River. Okay, we have different river systems here. Therefore, we need to understand that from where these rivers are originating and where they are flowing. What is the course of river? What is the major important city which they are draining? So we'll be studying those in part of the smaller river systems of India. Now, we have seen the mountain regions, plains, plateaus, and different features of the Indian physiography. We have also seen the rivers of India. What are the different rivers? Now, we will be looking at how the climate is affecting the physiography of India. How climate is defining the physiography of India in the part of climate of India. We'll be studying this in the part of climate of India. Now, if I want to consider something with respect to climate of India, so what is the basic thing which I will be studying first? What I need to understand first, that why the climate of India is like this, why some regions have hot and humid climate, why some regions have dry and cold climate, why some regions have very high temperature with very less humidity. So this will be studying in the part of the factors influencing the climate of India. factors influencing the climate of India. For example, if there is high continentality, what can be the climate of those regions? If the climate, if the region is situated very near to the sea, what will be the climate of that region? If that region is situated in the subtropical high pressure system, what will the climate of India in those parts? So we will be understanding that how these climatic factors, they are affecting the different regions of India. Why the temperatures of some region go very low during the winter season, for example in Punjab and Delhi, but in the same time the climate of the states like Kerala and Tamil Nadu, it is quite moderate. Okay, it is quite moderate and it does not witnesses the winter season. Why this is happening? Why such conditions are prevailed in India? So those will be studying in the part of factors influencing the climate of India. Now, as we understand the climate first, we have to see that what is the importance of monsoon. Next part is the monsoon of India. Now, monsoon is very important. It is very, very important. Why? Because the agricultural economy of India, not only agricultural economy, but also the overall economy of India, it is dependent on the monsoon winds or monsoon rainfall. Therefore, we need to understand that what is the mechanism of monsoon, what are the different aspects of monsoon, how this monsoon it is getting affected, how the monsoon in the contemporary time of climate change it is getting variable. Okay, it is getting influence. So we'll be studying here first, that is the mechanism of monsoon. What are the different factors which are relating into the formation of monsoon? Okay, for example, there is dynamic theory, then there is, we can say, the old theory, then there is classical theory, then there is jet stream theory. So we'll be looking at all this theory one by one. Under this head of mechanism of monsoon, first we'll be starting with the classical theory. These classical theories were given at very old time. For example, there is heating of land, and this heating of land, it is attracting the air. Therefore, because of this heating of land, there is a monsoon wind is getting here. Okay, monsoon winds are getting attracted to this region and the rainfall is occurring. But no, after this, what we saw that with the development of scientific temper, there was a kind of situations being produced. Okay, they were produced which helped us in analyzing the monsoon situations in quite better way. And these types of theories we'll be looking at, they are covered under the modern theories. They were covered under the modern theories, where the dynamicity of the monsoon was understood with respect to the different studies, different physiographical studies, different atmospheric studies, different oceanic studies, which helped us in understanding the monsoon in quite better way. The next theory we will be studying about, that is the air mass theory. The air mass theory, how the air masses are formed, how these air masses they are influencing the monsoon winds. Okay, how these air masses are having moisture. Okay, so we'll be understanding this part here in the part of air mass theory. After air mass theory, a very important theory with respect to the geoclimatic phenomena, that is jet stream theory. We see that in the first part of our lecture, in the previous micro detailing, we have discussed the aspect of jet stream. What are jet streams? So how these jet streams, what are these jet streams? How they are formed, first thing, and how it is helping in the influencing or the formation of some conditions which are favorable for the creation of the system which attracts the winds from the Indian Ocean region. Therefore, this theory will help us in understanding the phenomena of and developing of the monsoon. Okay, the developing of the monsoon in the part of Indian subcontinent. Then here, as we complete this part, we see that there are some factors which influences monsoon. There are some factors which influences monsoon, and one of the very major factor which is having a quite large impact or huge impact on the monsoon winds, that is the El Nino and La Nina. El Nino and La Nina. What is El Nino? What is La Nina? Are they the part of Enso cycle? How these are affecting the Indian monsoon? Where this El Nino and La Nina they are formed? What are the hydrometeorological conditions which are prevalent, which influences the monsoon winds? So those part will be studied in the part of El Nino and La Nina and their impact. El Nino and La Nina and their impact. After El Nino and La Nina, we'll be looking at one of the very important part, which is quite short but important. That is the rhyme of the seasons. Rhyme of seasons. Now, we see that in India we have four distinct seasons. In India we have four distinct seasons. How these seasons are defined, how these seasons are different from each other, what are the different names of this season, how these seasons help us in defining the economic activities of the human beings. So we'll be studying those part in the rhyme of the seasons. After rhyme of the seasons, we will be understanding in quite detail the different seasons of India, like the cold weather system. The cold weather system. For example, here we will be analyzing the winter season in detail. What is the winter season in India? How this winter season is prevalent in India? How this winter season geographically varies in different parts of India. We'll be understanding them in detail. How this winter season system, it is having different kind of activities, and how this differs from the another season, that is the hot weather system of India. How it is different from hot weather system of India. What is hot weather system? What is influencing this hot weather system? What is the geographical variation of the hot weather system in the month of April, May, June, July? So we'll be understanding that part in the hot weather system of India. After this thing, we will be analyzing quite closely with respect to the monsoon and the seasons of India, that is the southwest monsoon season or the southwest monsoon. Southwest monsoon, very important, very important. From this aspect, we see the questions are always asked by the UPSC examination. UPSC always makes focus on the southwest monsoon. What are the different characteristics of southwest monsoon? What is the role of this southwest monsoon? How it is developed? What is its implication? How the movement of this southwest monsoon takes place? What is the break in monsoon? What is the burst in monsoon? What is the role of the westerly jet stream? What is the role of tropical easterly jet stream? What are the different analogies which are related with the southwest monsoon? Will be studied in quite detail in this part of southwest monsoon. And after this part, we also have another part with respect to the monsoon, that is the retreating of monsoon. Okay, in the southwest monsoon, we'll be studying one thing, that is the onset of monsoon, that how the monsoon it has progressed forward from the region of Kerala up to the foothills of Himalayas. Now, as the as the winds have reached the foothills of Himalayas, so we see that after the particular time period, there is a reversal of wind is taking place because of the change in the dynamics of the climate system, because of which the winds now flow in the reverse direction with respect to the southwest direction. they now flow in the northeast direction. They flow in the northeast direction. Therefore, how the characteristics of these factors it changes, how the characteristics of the regions it changes during the retreat of the monsoon, we'll be studying them in quite detail. Then after this we'll be looking at that what is basically the climatic regions of India, how these factors, for example, the influencing factors of the climate, then the mechanism of monsoon, the different regions or different parts of the monsoon, okay, the summer season, the winter season, how it is making the climatic regions of India. The climatic regions of India. What are the different climates which are present in India? Okay, so does India have equatorial type of climate? Yes or no? Does India have monsoon type of climate? Yes or no? Does India have Mediterranean type of climate? Yes or no? Does India have temperate type of climate? Yes or no? So we'll be studying those part here in the climatic regions of India. Okay, so here in this section we'll be studying the different climate regions of India and what are their influencing factors. Then after this we have another important topic with respect to the soil which is present in India. That is, we also call it as the soils of India. What is the soil of India? If we see the soil in India, what is the most important soil which we get to know, which we remember? Have we visited the part, if have we seen the map? In the map we say that in the Ganga Brahmaputra plains we have a particular alluvium type of soil, but as we move towards the peninsular block of India, as we reach the Deccan plateau, we say that we have black soil in India. But as we move towards the eastern part of India, we say that we have red soil, we have we have red and yellow soil. But as we move towards the coastal regions where the rainfall is quite high, there we see the prevalence of the laterite soils. And as we move towards the desert region, we see that we have arid soil and desert soil. And as we move to the mountainous regions, we see that we have a mountainous type of soil. Therefore, the soils which are present in India, they are majorly affected by the physiographic divisions. So here first we'll be looking at the classifications of soils. The classification of soils in India. How these soils are classified? What are the significances of this soil? What is the texture of soil? What is the texture of soil? Is soil loamy? Is soil clay? Is soil sandy? So the texture will define the kind of soils which are present here. The distribution of soil in India, it will be covered under the classification of soil only. Then, if the soil is present, this soil in the contemporary time, it is getting degraded because of the various economic activities and also the agricultural activities by the human beings. The soil is also degraded by natural causes. Therefore, we'll be studying the issues related to the soil degradation and soil erosion. Issues related to soil degradation and soil erosion. Okay, how the soil is getting eroded and degraded in the contemporary time. Then, if the soil is degrading, then we can see that some methods can be adopted for their conservation. How these methods can be applied in the contemporary times? What are these methods? How these methods have been studied? Therefore, we will be studying the next part is as the soil conservation. we'll be studying the soil conservation, the importance of soil conservation in India. Now, we have seen the different physiographies of India, different climate of India, different river system of India in the form of drainage pattern. We have seen the soil of India. If we look, interconnect all these things together, what we see that India has some particular natural vegetation. India has some particular natural vegetation in the form of forest, in the form of grasslands, in the form of some other, we can say that, we can also say that in the form of glaciers, where there is some different vegetation in the mountainous regions. Therefore, here we'll be studying in the next part as the vegetation of India. Next part is the vegetation of India, that is natural vegetation of India. In the natural vegetation of India, we see that the first thing, foremost, very important, that is types of forest in India. Types of forest in India. These types of forest, as we have discussed before, we have different types of forest. For example, we have rainforest, okay, evergreen rainforest. We have deciduous forest, okay. We have grasslands, okay. I'm considering right now in the part of biomes it as, so we also have different types of vegetations which are present in these different regions. We also have grasslands in the form of savanna and steppe. So we'll be studying them here, but we also need to understand that how much and where these different types of forests are present. For that, we will be studying the forest cover of India. We'll be studying the forest cover of India, where the different forests which have a particular geographic coverage, will be studying them in quite detail. Now, forests are present, but these forests are also used for certain economic activities, because of which these forests, they are getting degraded. Therefore, degradation of forests. Degradation of forest. If the forest is getting degraded, therefore we also need to conserve them. Therefore, conservation of forest. What are the different methods of conservation of forest? What is silviculture? What is agroforestry? Okay, what is community forestry? These things we'll be discussing here in conservation of forest. Then also we'll be studying the problems of forest in India. The different problems which are faced by the Indian forest, we'll be studying them in quite detail. So with respect to the natural vegetation, this part of the physiography of India or the physical geography of India, it is covered with respect to the topography, the physiography, the drainage pattern, the climatic pattern, the soils of India and the natural vegetation of India. Therefore, the UPSC asks certain questions which have different dimensions. For example, in forest, it can ask the types of forest which are found in the dry deciduous forest. Okay, it can also ask the question that which are the recent acts which are being passed for the conservation of forest. What are the issues related to the forest? For example, the Forest Dwelling Act. Okay, here what are the different issues which are faced by the people and also the government for the management of forest. So those part will be discussing in quite detail in this subject. Okay, so concluding this part of our lecture, that is part 2 of the micro detailing of the syllabus with respect to geography here. Thank you very much.